There is no concern.
Using what? You've looked ahead using what? Because there's no additional revenue projections here on your formula that you're given to us.
Councilor, we've explained those to you. They haven't been factored in yet. Solar projects. We're looking at advertising for billboards. There are other revenue sources that have not been included in fiscal year 19.
And have you subtracted the $2.1 million from bag sales?
No, Councilor, because that decision has not been made yet.
So it doesn't sound sustainable. Or somebody's not telling the truth.
Councilor, I fully understand, and again, we're not going to solve this problem. If you believe that the revenues are overstated, then your charge is to simply make the reductions on the expense side so that there is no shortfall. That is within your purview, and I hope tonight we're going to be beginning to vote for the budget, and you have every right. If you believe there's $1.5 million in revenues that are not going to be achieved, then it would be your purview as a councilor to make $1.5 million in cuts in this operating budget as it's before you. And that is certainly within your purview. We are telling you that we have complete confidence in the revenue projections. There may be some slight shifts between one item and another, but we're confident in these revenue projections, and we're confident that they will support the additional service delivery items that are included in this budget. But if you don't subscribe to that and you don't believe it, then you have a responsibility to make changes in the budget and to cut a corresponding amount as you see fit, and that is certainly your purview. We do not agree with your assumptions, but that is clearly your right and your role as a counselor.
So this is the first, I've been watching these meetings for 10 years now, since I came home from Iraq. I've been actively watching these meetings. And this is the first time that I've ever seen a city council be handed a budget and say, take it or else. Usually there's adjustments between the administration and the city council throughout the course of this process. Last year, there were adjustments throughout the course of this process. And now we're not seeing even a little bit of give from the administration. That's not working together. And the fact that you're putting it on us in order to be able to make those reductions, which I'm glad that this council is willing to take the leadership in order to be able to, the leadership responsibility to make those reductions, because it's not responsible. It's baffling.
Councilor, you were not in attendance at the budget briefing, but there were opportunities then, there were opportunities prior to that with meetings to say what you'd like to see in the budget, what additions you might like to see. There were adjustments made to the budget based on requests from councilors. You didn't make any of those requests, and so there was negotiation. Just because you didn't take part in it doesn't mean that it didn't exist, or at least the opportunity wasn't there for that to happen.
There was a one-page document handed out during those budget briefings, and we were asked, councilors were asked, because I wasn't there, you're right. Councilors were asked on the spot, what else do you want?
Councilor, there had been previous conversations during briefings regarding that. This budget has been in development since January of 2017, Councilor. January.
And I had gone to those other briefings, and not once were we asked, hey, what do you want in the FY18 budget at any of those other briefings?
I don't recall your attendance at those briefings, Councilor.
Okay, I was there.
So was I.
Okay. And I'm sorry that you have a hazy memory, but I was. But that being said, I'll yield.
Thank you. Councilor, folks in the audience, if you could please, I understand some of the comments that you are hearing you might not agree with, but please just keep the comments to yourself. Well, it's also rude that you continue to speak every single meeting, right? So don't start telling councilors when they're trying to voice their opinion that they're rude. When members in the audience, if I have to speak one more time to you folks, I'm going to ask you to leave. Councilor C2.
I sit here and you constantly tell the audience to be quiet, but you never once do it when councilors are talking among themselves.
Councilor, that's fine. I'm going to recognize your point of order. So it's funny. It's funny. We're going to have this conversation now. It's funny how when it's convenient for a couple of councilors to suggest that, but then they continue to talk amongst each other. So it's all 8 of you folks.
No, all 8 of us don't do it, Councilor.
Absolutely.
Wrong.
Councilor, you've called the clerk over there in the corner multiple times while a number of colleagues have spoken. It's gone down the line. Every single councilor has done this. We should be policing ourselves, right? We're all adults.
Correct.
Okay? So why don't we just have common courtesy for each other and do that, right? But excuse me. Can you, thank you.
Just tell the truth.
That's all right, but this isn't part, you're not part of the city council. No, I'm going to ask you to leave the chamber.
You're gonna make me leave.
That's right.
Just go. Let me handcuff you. You lock me up. Want to handcuff me? Huh?
5-minute recess amongst the folks. I'm going to ask the audience, people have the right to speak, okay? But it's the council. This is a city council meeting. We're going to be deliberating. I just ask for common courtesy and respect amongst the people in the audience and the members on the floor. That is it. With that, Councilor in seat 4, you've got the floor.